Hi there. Welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. That's me. This week's discussion topics include anything you feel that is newsworthy, as usual, about racism, bigotry, inequality, and corruption in America. And that pretty much covers it all. So if you're here, I'm finally here, running a few minutes late. The show is meant to be an opportunity for viewers to speak their mind and say what they think, and also to serve as an educational tool for white folks to understand and learn about the system of racism that we live in America. So it's meant to be a learning tool. Before we start, I want to introduce myself. I am Angry Soccer Mom. Actually, lately, a little more sad than angry, actually, the truth. And my kids don't play soccer. I think I always say that. So if you watch a show and it turns out that you like what you're seeing, please subscribe and check out my other videos. I have rants. I have calm, nice, sweet teaching, like like the little teacher type educational videos. And then I have obnoxious ones. So nails and glitter. Yay. Thanks for being here. This is going to be exciting tonight. I have kind of emotional stuff to talk about. So hopefully I'll keep it together. And so check out my videos. If you're watching and you want to try to support my channel, I think you're supposed to hit the one of those little icon things down at the bottom. I'm I'm the worst. I'm technologically disabled, but it's me. So I think, oh, Pat, Gary, yay, thanks for being here. Sweet. I'm really looking forward to people's input. I have a couple announcements really fast, and we will get started. It might be a short show tonight, so hopefully people will participate a lot, because I just have two topics. But please feel free to jump right in, ask what you want, be real, because it's not called Real Talk for nothing, okay? I'm serious. And stuff's only getting a little bit more, I guess, stressed as we go. Sadly, I think we have a while longer of all this stress. So let's get started. My announcements are first that I started a couple new series that I hope you'll check out. One of them, I think it's been up there a while. It's my friend Billy Shelton. He is an 86-year-old famous Black singer who was in the Music Hall of Fame. So he's like a famous guy, and he's incredibly nice. And he's telling us about what it was like back in the olden days. And he means way back in the olden days. And he's wonderful. He's such a humanistic person. I don't know how, I'm more jaded than he is. It's like, oh my God, how did this happen? We're hoping to get his friend on, who's another famous guy, if he wants to come on. Next, I have a friend who runs a social media site. And he does short videos, and he has a lot to say. So I'm going to put a couple of his up, because he has things to say to white folks, and he's blunt, he's forward, he's real, and he's absolutely spot on. So I'm hoping that white folks who are watching will consider checking him out. His videos are very short, so it's not like it will be time consuming. I put two on already. And then lastly, there is my friend Tim, who has been sweet and wonderful and outgoing and humble enough to grant me interviews continuously. Unfortunately, he is a person who has a lot of experience with systemic racism and personal racism. And the good thing is he is absolutely willing and desires to talk about it. So he has a couple on there now, and we'll probably get a third and a fourth on there too. So I really wanted this channel to be about the people, not always like me, it's all about me. It's kind of like, that's not my intention. I know a lot of people are very fearful to come on right now. It's absolutely understandable. We are in some time. Dang. I can't even think of what the history is going to be like in the history books. But I have the 4 videos that I have to put on hidden history. And I could probably do 5 or 6. There's so much hidden history. If white America only knew. And, I keep saying that as if they only knew, then they would change their ways. Because it really is going to have to be grassroots bottom up, because quite clearly, nothing's coming from the top down. That's going to be, from our our national president. It kills me to say it. So my topics tonight are prisons and responsibility. And my other one is the Ahmaud Arbery case, which I know we've heard a lot about, but it's really, really important because as far as I can tell, this could have happened any time 100 years ago. This could have happened any time because this is exactly, I mean, this is crazy. So I have like new updates, I guess you could say. So my rant is not from me, so that maybe it'll be a good one. I chose to talk about Robert Reich. He is a very, very intelligent economist who worked for several presidents. And he's an amazingly smart man, and he gets it. Pat, it's not that they are fearful. It's just all the BS. They know there is no true justice for right, exactly. And I don't think fearful is a bad thing in this case. I think it's freaking smart, because the problem is we're in this like vigilante thing going on here. I mean, this has gotten way worse than, I think a lot of white folks could possibly imagine. And obviously a lot of white folks don't get it. That's what I'm here for, to try to help them understand the depths, the sheer depths of white supremacy that we're dealing with here. And, white folks love to give a reasonable doubt. Maybe they didn't mean it. About 15 years ago, I was right there with them. Like, maybe they just don't understand. No, they understand. They don't give a shit. Okay. Or they're so ignorant that they're out of the loop. Like I always tell people, it's not the extreme lunatics who are, yelling the N-word and being like crazy. It's not the people who care and are trying to learn. It's the huge mass of white folks right smack in the middle who are doing absolutely nothing to dismantle the system of systemic racism in America. They're doing nothing. Doing nothing means you are doing something. Unfortunately, in this type of situation, you are perpetuating and upholding white supremacy. Being nice to everybody, that's a lovely thought, but it doesn't cut it. Okay? So if you're a white person and you think, oh, I'm nice to everybody, I'm doing my part, that's the danger. You're not. It's nice to be nice to everybody. I'm not saying be a jackass, but it's thank you, Womobile. Thank you. It's the ones that are silent and turn a blind eye. Exactly. You should come on the show. Maybe you're a better speaker than me, but it's those people. They are the dangerous ones because they think they're doing their part, and they are so not doing their part. They are perpetuating and upholding a system. Do you think white folks are going to let go of their power if you ask? No, this system needs to be dismantled. Okay. And that means people actively. Do you call out things? Oh, yes, you do. Do you jump on board? Do you stand up for people? Oh, yes, you do. You do whatever it takes. And if you're white, you will make mistakes and you will screw up and you will feel like a freaking idiot. You'll think, oh my God, they're going to think I'm racist. And maybe they will. And you know what? Tuck like a dog, tuck your tail back, just suck it up, drop your wig at the door and keep trying. Okay. If your heart's in the right place, you'll know it's not about us. It's not about us and our feelings. And we have feelings and we will feel them and we will screw up. I've screwed up. Oh my God. Don't even remind me. And all you can do is say, it's not about me. I want to learn. Okay. Hi, Dave. Thanks for being here. Pat, white people just don't want to acknowledge it. They know it's rising. Well, it's rising in extremely scary ways. And I got to say, with this COVID-19 stuff and people being kept away for their safety, I'm extremely concerned that we have, thanks, Dave, that we have some serious issues with monitoring, and American hospitals aren't so great to begin with. Mr. F.S. Black, thank you for being here. And what I mean by that, not putting down individual doctors, but let's be real, people. We have a very, very poor system, okay, compared to most nations that are like us. We have a ton of accidental deaths, and now there is nobody monitoring except the people on the front line. Oh, thank you, Womobile. Thank you so much. I'm old. Let's not talk about it. Ghost Killa, welcome. Thanks for being here. So we're going into some, a lot of people say, oh, what could be worse than Trump? Well, guess what? King Trump. That's what could be worse than Trump. And I think that's kind of where we're headed. And I hate to be the soothsayer of doom, but I do like to keep it real. Yes, I do. Although people cringe at that expression. So I'm going to get started reading an article by Robert Reich, who I was supposed to see this summer. Or actually not this summer. What am I saying? A couple weeks ago. So I guess it would be the spring. And of course it was canceled. It was actually fairly recently. I was dying to see him because he's a professor at Berkeley. He's also an excellent, excellent teacher. And I went to school right up there, and I wish I had him, but I didn't. So he speaks the truth. Jillian, thank you for being here. Yay. I'm super psyched. So I'm going to go through a quick rant. Tell me what you think. This is Robert Reich. He's worked for a number of presidents, and he's a really smart dude. But he's not like over the top speaking over your head. He just says it like it is. So it's way cool. His article is entitled, Under Trump, American Exceptionalism Means Poverty, Misery, and Death. And he is not one to exaggerate. He's actually, I exaggerate. He doesn't. So I followed him for quite some time. I promise I am not going to get emotional. No other nation has, that means I am, no other nation has endured the death, COVID-19, nor nearly as high of a rate of death that the United States has. And I don't know if everybody knows that. We aren't even close to other nations, not even close. No other nation has endured as much death from COVID-19 as nor nearly as high a death rate as the United States has. Donald Trump's 4-step plan to reopen the U.S. economy and why it will be lethal, by Robert Reich. With 4.25 of the world's population, America has the tragic distinction, yay us, we're winning, not, of accounting for 30% of the pandemic deaths so far, right? 30%. We have 4.25% of the population. And it's the only advanced nation where the death rate is still climbing. 3,000 deaths per day are anticipated by June 1st. It's not June 1st. Sadly, I know that because I had a birthday. No other nation has loosened lockdown and other social distancing measures while deaths are increasing as the U.S. is doing now. Literally, there is not another nation that is doing this. No other advanced nation was as unprepared as we have been in the U.S. and still are. We now know Donald Trump and his administration were told by public health experts in mid-January or before that immediate action was required. I happened at the time to work for a company in China. I had clients from China who were telling me all about the virus. Well before that, I knew I'm not the president. I'm nobody. So this is pretty terrifying. Not that he's lying, but that he did nothing. And this is scary. This is some scary shit, I got to say. So he knew. He did absolutely nothing to stop it. And according to Fauci, which I don't know what's going on with their relationship. Who knows? I'm not privy to that, unfortunately. But he said there was tons of pushback and he was fighting it. And we saw all that. He's an open book. He's unbelievable. You always know when he's lying. It's whenever he opens his freaking mouth. It's unbelievable. You'd think like a clock, like twice a day he'd be right. But no, it's unbelievable. Around the world, governments are providing generous income support, but not in the United States. Epidemiologists estimated that 90% of the deaths in the United States for the first wave of COVID-19 might have been prevented if social distancing had started 2 weeks earlier. No nation in the United States has left it to subordinate governments, aka the states and cities, to buy ventilators and personal protective equipment. And no other nation has sub-governments been forced to bid against one another. In no other nation has experts in health and emergency preparedness been pushed aside and replaced by political cronies like Trump's son-in-law, who in turn has been advised by Trump donors and Fox News celebrities. This is out of control and insane. In no other advanced nation has COVID-19 forced so many of the average citizens into poverty this quickly. This guy's a stats guy. He's an economics dude, so he writes about that. Okay. The Urban Institute reports that 30% of Americans slowed down their buying food tremendously, to the point where it was noticeable on paper. Food, that's kind of an indicator. 30% of Americans. Everywhere else in the world, governments that have, countries like ours have generous income support, but not in the United States. At best, we'll receive a one-time check of $1,200, about a week's worth of maybe rent, groceries, and utilities. That doesn't cover a month's worth of everything. It just doesn't. Few people are collecting unemployment benefits, he says, because unemployment offices are overwhelmed with claims. Congress's payroll protection program has been a mess because funds have been distributed through financial institutions. Banks have raked money off for themselves and rewarded their favored customers, the wealthy ones. Of the $350 billion originally intended for small businesses, that's what it says, billion. I can't remember exactly what it was, but that's what he said. 243.4 million has gone largely to public traded companies. Meanwhile, the Treasury and the Feds are bailing out big corporations from the debt they accumulated in recent years to buy back their stock shares. So why is America so different from other advanced nations facing this coronavirus threat? Well, I could name like 50 things, but I'm not going to. Jamie, thanks for being here. Why has everything gone so tragically wrong? I could name, sorry, I'll stop. I'm reading his article. Some of it's due to Trump. Yeah, that's it. Some of it. And his mishaps and his corrupt collection, as he puts it, corrupt collection of grifters, buffoons, sycophants, lobbyists, and relatives. But there's also deeper roots. Over the last 50 years, I could go on, but he's the expert, not me. America's workers are far less unionized than workers in other advanced economies. I didn't know that, but it goes deeper than that. The coronavirus has been especially potent in the United States of America because we're the only industrialized nation lacking universal health care. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. We're the only industrialized nation lacking universal health care. Instead, we have health care for profit. Okay. And do we pay a profit for them? They're getting rich the sicker we get. Hey, Ronald, thank you for being here. I'm just ranting on about Robert Reich's latest writing, which I really related to. Just coolin'. I'll read everything in a minute, and welcome to the show. So many families have been reluctant to go to the doctors. I know I am all the time. When my kids have to go, I'd rather have them go than me. They're my babies. Many families are very reluctant to go because the co-pays alone, everything, it just adds up. America is, I want to just jump in there for a minute. Do you guys realize that half the people who declare bankruptcy in America, you think, those obnoxious money mongers, buying their yachts and jewels and gold. No. They go bankrupt because of medical bills. If you've ever had a tragedy in your family, which I have, an ongoing, very, very ill, tragic family member, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't care how rich you are. You got to be over a millionaire to hang in there. And if nothing else goes wrong, you can kind of like catch up eventually, but don't even get me started. So as a result, a lot of people, they stay in their jobs. They don't go home. They don't go home when they're sick. They don't go to the doctors when they're sick. America is the only one of 22 advanced nations failing to give all workers some form of paid sick leave. So we go in when we're sick, okay? A lot of us have no time off for that. As a result, many American workers have remained on the job and obviously given this to everybody. Now, I don't know if you all know this, and this isn't in his thing. I think my people do. You're my people. But hey, Leslie. Yay, I'm happy you're here. They've documented that you don't have to be symptomatic to be a carrier and give this and spread this. I am so tired of people saying, well, I don't have it, I'm safe. It's like, you feel well, you don't know, because clearly you can spread this if you're asymptomatic. Somebody can still get it. You might not be reacting, but they might. And remember all these young folks who are like, oh, we don't have to. Yeah, they do. What about their parents? Do they want them to die? What about their grandparents? What about their aunts, their uncles, their friends? Okay, I'm on a rampage. Back to his more concise. I'm just ranting. Adding to this, the skippiness of unemployment benefits in America, providing less support in the first year of unemployment than those in any other advanced nation. This guy worked for a number of presidents. He's not exaggerating. He's not giving us BS. American workplaces are also more dangerous. Even before COVID-19 ripped through our meat packers and our warehouses, fatality rates among American workers are much higher than European workers, according to this very knowledgeable man, even before the pandemic. Even before the pandemic robbed Americans of their jobs, incomes, and our average wage growth in the U.S. has lagged behind the average wage growth in most every other advanced, I just say that and I cringe, country. So all this talk about how great we are, we've never been great, but let me tell you, we are not great now. It's all a lie. It's all total bullshit. It's all complete and utter baloney, propaganda. Let's just call it what it is. Freaking lies. Total lies. Propaganda. What a nice euphemism. No, it's lying. And it's disgusting. Since 1980, American workers' share of total national income has declined more than any wealthy nation. In other nations, check this out. This kills me. Unions have pushed for safer working conditions and higher wages, but American workers are far less unionized than workers in other advanced economies. Listen to this comparison. 6.4% of the private sector workers in America belong to a union, compared to 26% in Canada, 37% in Italy, 67% in Sweden. Ooh, wouldn't want to go there. I heard that Sweden and some of the other Scandinavian countries, they're living our American dream. We're not, but they are. Okay, wouldn't want that, but I'm telling you right now, they rank the nicest, happiest places to live. 25% in England. 25% in England. We have 6.4%. So who and what's to blame for the worst avoidable loss of life in American history? That's what he asks, because that's what we're going through now. The absolute most catastrophic, worst avoidable loss. I won't go into the details because I always say the same thing, but it's partly, obviously, Donald Trump's malfeasance and his absolute inability to do anything. But the calamity, Robert Reich says, is also due to America's long-term failure to provide its people with the basic support we need. If we had universal health care for everybody, for nothing, not a huge payment, and people didn't have to sweat it out, it's life-changing. We're also the only nation that is of like nations, in other words, like supposedly industrialized nation, that
is, okay, let me just put it this way. This is what kills me. These guys are showing up. Oh, we have so many. We did 1 million people today. We did 1 million people. We tested 1 million people. I'm sorry. Do you know how many people are in this country? We won't test everyone for well over a year if everyone ever gets tested. If we're doing 1 million, these numbers sound big. They're disgusting. Less than 2% people, last time I checked, which was a day ago, you never know, less than 2% of our nation were tested. And like I said, we all know people who are asymptomatic, in other words, they don't have symptoms, they're having fun, running around, can give the virus to other people. They won't even know it. And that's been proven by science. So this is dangerous and people are working on it, but I'm disgusted by our country. And people will say, oh, you just hate America. Yeah, that's it. No, my eyes are open. That's what I just have my eyes open. It's not really like, this isn't really a tough call here. We have failed. And I hate to come on and be the soothsayer of doom, but this is real talk. So, I mean, I'm not going to make up stuff and lie. So I wish I could. Let me take some comments. That is my rant. And I just want to cry. That's my rant. I don't want to be a downer. No one's going to want to come talk, but you guys, I've been looking at this resist fascism group, and I'm thinking I might be joining it. I don't think this is going to get better, if ever. And we can't live like this long. And I don't mean the pandemic. The pandemic we'll get through, but the ramifications of the pandemic, this is really bad. So let me take some comments. Jillian, oh, maybe I backed up. Okay, happy birthday, Dave, almost. Let me see here. Jillian, so to speak, on Trump going at it with Asian reporter. Oh, yes, I saw that. How obnoxious. That was obnoxious. Did you guys see that? He's unfreaking believable. He really is. What a jackass. God. Yeah, I saw that. I thought she kept it together. I mean, she called him out, but she didn't make a spectacle of herself. But literally, the man has to open his mouth, and he is just vile. He's a very, very bad man. There's other ways to say it, but I don't want to get kicked off YouTube, so I'll just say that. Yeah, that was awful. Womobile, yes, no matter what we have to prepare, no matter what we have to prepare for the event that number 45 will fully take and shred the Constitution and declare himself as king or emperor. White and black people alike don't take this lightly. Thank you. Thank you, Womobile 1. Exactly. The man has, as much as, spoken out to the world, he wants to be a freaking king, dictator, and his favorite people are dictators. He's mentioned it a number of times. He's circumvented our Constitution, destroyed the checks and balances. He's taken over our judiciary. He has a clan of I don't know what, the senators, a clan of senators who have lost their freaking minds. They've lost their humanity, if they ever had it. I don't even know. I don't have answers. But I know the people, if we don't do something, nothing's going to change. White folks need to realize we have unless you're a billionaire, then get out. Unless you're a billionaire, well, even then, you might actually give a shit about your fellow humans. Okay? Unless you're really obnoxious and really, really wealthy, we have a common plight with black people, brown people, African-American people, indigenous people, and other white people. And that we don't know that is our own absolute ignorance and arrogance. We have a common plight, but all we have to hear is, it's the black people's fault. And we're like, okay. As long as we feel like we're better than them, then we'll just keep, as Lyndon B. Johnson said, emptying our pockets to the most wealthy. That is how insecure we are. And it's disgusting. And it is going to mean the demise of our democratic republic if it is not already too late. That's just my opinion. But I've been reading lots of stuff. So let me keep. I mean, I hate to be so negative, but what am I going to do? Come on here and lie? It's the truth. Thank you, Womaville One. Absolutely. Jillian, NYC will probably be the last state that fully reopens. It does look that way. Womaville, yes, the most pathological president. I mean, he's mentally ill. I've diagnosed him, but no, I'm just kidding. I am definitely aware of the fact that the Dunning-Kruger effect is a phenomenon, whereas a lot of people believe that their opinion is equivalent to an expert. Let me give a quick example. For example, if I was going to the moon, on a trip, and my friend had some advice because, they saw Apollo 13 like maybe 15 years ago or 20 years ago, and it was really good and they really liked it and they saw it twice. That's really cool. But I'm sorry, I will be getting my advice from a PhD in astrophysics who has had 5 moonwalks, okay? Not a person who really liked Apollo 13, okay? And I'm not trying to be a jerk. Our world has specialized. We're all not going to be experts at everything. Those days are gone. So I listen to the professionals, and a lot of our fellow humans don't. I listen to the most knowledgeable people in the room, and then I cross-check everything like crazy. So we're getting into some real scary stuff here. Let me see. Thank you, Wilmaville, on the pathological president. Yes. David, Sweden didn't handle the social distancing that well, unlike Italy, where the virus caught them by surprise in the UK, and Boris Johnson were almost as bad as Trump. Now, Sweden, actually, there's a video I have up on my site, up on YouTube, that explains the 3 very different ways that are generally, the 3 ways that it's been taken care of. There's China, which I can definitely say was militant, but they are not accustomed to it, but that is how their country works on a lot of levels. And it seems like they did pretty damn well. I'm in touch with China almost all the time, so I get the scoop every day. But Sweden chose a different route, and time will tell. And you're right, it does not appear that they did well with the social distancing. They tried a completely different route. If you see that video, there's an expert who will talk about the 3 ways. And then there's America, who I'm going to say all 50 states probably did 50 different things, if not nothing. And look at us now. This thing's going to be around for years, and it doesn't have to be. I mean, we have botched this. What the hell is... I mean, this is not like some sort of like rocket science. I think the average 10-year-old can say, everyone needs to be tested, maybe multiple times with, look for immunity. I mean, this is not rocket freaking science. Yet, here we are. So it's really scary. Yeah, I don't, nails and glitter, we can't reopen with any containment in place. Yeah, it's without any containment in place. I know, and yet we are. Right, exactly. But yeah, Dave, you're right about Sweden, but theirs was actually planned, but it sure, I watched the video 3 times because I was like, that doesn't seem really planned, but theirs was planned, supposedly. A really, really smart dude. You should listen to it. It's very interesting. It's a short video explaining the 3. I don't think ours counts as a type. Ours is just a free-for-all. But I know, isn't Colorado opening up, Nelson? Glitter, like completely. Anyway, Dave, those countries will recover financially better than we are. Kim is right that the other Western democracies will bounce back quicker than we do. I hope that Trump voters will suffer the worst. Yeah, it's really really, really, really sad. It's just, the whole thing is just sad. It didn't have to be like this. It's unbelievable. And when I say we're doing worse with the stats, I don't mean by little. I mean, I know most of you probably already know this because I'm like preaching to the choir. No, it's catastrophic compared to other countries. It's Unstinking believable. Okay. Nails and hi Jamie, I hope you're still here. Nails and glitter. I'm just saying, even Bush had a pandemic response plan, but Trump had states and regular people competing for supply. It's just sick. It's barbaric. What he had. He is what I consider an inhumane loser. And I don't mean that like loser, like I'm one of the cool kids. I've never been one of the cool kids. But when I think a person who is vile and horrific, I think of him. He's the culmination of like everything that's vile about humans. I mean, I don't understand. The man needs help, but he won't be getting it. He has too many people covering for him and taking up the slack. Yeah, no, absolutely. Bush had a better one. Rich, just coolin'. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Rich white men don't want to give up power. Absolutely. And I hate to say it, but their rich white women have just as equal responsibility. Because you see, we white women, I expect more from us. We're white, sure, but we know what it feels like to be feeling like you're a second-class citizen with regards to men. So shame on us. It is disgusting how we uphold these men that are racist as fuck. It's unbelievable. So I hold women just as white women, just as equally responsible because of all the people. We know how this power thing works. Why we aren't absolutely supportive and learning every day from our Black sisters is ludicrous. It makes me think we're freaking imbeciles. I mean, I have a video that I dedicated to Black women and brown women because they've done amazing things. And so have Black men. But these women I'm talking about, we have absolutely dissed them. Sisterhood is, white people don't even get it. And no, it's not everybody. But look where we're at. So it's enough. Or we wouldn't be here. If more people cared, we wouldn't be here. So it's everybody, basically. I hate to say it. And I only talk like this because people are dying. And the masses, the white masses, just don't seem to care. And it's disgusting. You got me all revved up. Just cooling. Okay. Womanmobile 1. Indeed. I live in Canada. Can we all move in, please? We all have universal 2,000 income given to us for the next 6 months. It's not a handout. It's just a common sense way of taking care of our people during hard times. Absolutely. And you know what? In one of my other chats that I have on here, I talk about the fact that I heard this man, okay, I'll just say, I heard this man from New York City. He was ranting. He was swearing. It was hilarious. He was spitting. I was like, geez, put the umbrella up. It was just on a video, but you could see him like spit. It was so funny. He was absolutely spot on. He's like, it's our money. He's screaming, it's our money. He's like, I want to put it on I haven't found it again, but I want to put it on my YouTube channel because the guy is hilarious. I don't know if they'll have restrictions on it because he has his own channel. He is like the most, his language is, but my God, is he spot on. He's like, it's our freaking money. He like screams into the camera. It's really funny, but he's right. If not now, then when would we want our tax money to be used to tide us over? It's insane. Canada, Nails and Glitter. Thank you for telling us what's going on in Canada. I'm so jealous. Nails and Glitter. Canada is preserving jobs and therefore their economy. Yep. Womanmobile, Nails and Glitter. That's right. Because unlike in the States, we don't let corporations and government combine together to screw us over. Yeah. There's that. We got a lot going on. Let me just try to race through some of these comments. I just got scrolled. It scrolled back. I'm back. Womanmobile 1. That's so true, whatever I was talking about at the time. Since the end of Reagan's presidency, yep,
In the 80s, Americans' middle class has gone completely downward. Absolutely. I remember the middle class being a thing, and now it is not a thing. Everybody is struggling. I know very wealthy people who are still struggling. Because, I mean, part of the problem is once you are wealthy, you kind of up your game a little, which is understandable. It's part of making money. But going back is sometimes really impossible. It really is. And that goes for everybody. No matter what level you're at, it's all relative. Okay. If you're very impoverished and then you do a little bit better and you start, buying things or doing, whatever, you can lose fast, really fast. So there's no way to fall back in this kind of situation. It's capitalism on steroids, gone mad. And it's going to be the fall of our nation. It already is. I just don't even want to say it. I've been getting a ton of conspiracy theorist stuff in the last couple of weeks. I am not like saying poo-poo, oh, that's just ridiculous, you're idiots. I'm not saying that, but I try to avoid conspiracy theory stuff. I think about it. I research it. I try my best to dig and mostly try to figure out why people are saying this. But on this show and on my videos, it's not my thing. I need more information. It's like anything else. I don't think they're wrong, but I don't think they're right yet. And I can't talk about something that I am not passionate about because it's like, how could I? I mean, so it's just like I don't bring up subjects that I know nothing about because I know nothing about them. So it's tough. And right now, conspiracy theories are abound. And I watched a woman who is a PhD at Stanford University talk about them, and it made sense. There's a lot going on. Our nation has been very, very bad to non-white people. They haven't been so great to white people, but they've been horrific to Black, Brown, Indigenous, African Americans. I mean, like you need me to tell you that. Okay, so I'm just saying, I do stay away from that. Please don't be insulted if I don't get into it, because a lot of people last time wanted to kind of get into it, and I can't go there yet because once I know about it, I will. But I have a really high burden of proof for me. Not that they're not going to be proved sometime, but just they're tough. Africa is almost corona free. Interesting. I sure hope so. That would be amazing. Let me see. 336 million estimated. Right. 336 million. We do 1 million a day, which seriously, I don't think we're doing. If he says we're doing it, I don't believe him. I don't believe anything he says. But yeah, it'll be about a year. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Nails and glitter. Fascism is here. Just cooling. If you have any articles on that, I would love to read it. Just stick them right on here. Feel free. Pat. They want to kill a few billion people because we are living longer. I've heard that. I've heard that before. It's kind of interesting, though, because he's kind of killing his own constituency, mostly. I mean, they're the people who don't believe in science. So it's like, how do you not believe in science? Okay, I'm just going to be real here. I didn't know you could not believe in science. Who says you cannot believe in science? Who does that? I guess Trump does that. But I mean, I didn't know there was such a thing as not believing it. You're not allowed to do that. It's science. Come on. And you know what a hypocrite, because does he ever go to the doctor? Oh, now he believes in science all of a sudden. I mean, this is so ridiculous. He believes in the science he wants to believe in. And people support him. It's unbelievable. God, this is mind-boggling. Okay. Dave, I honestly believe that Trump could be caught ordering a hitman to take someone out, and he would find someone to take the blame. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's untouchable. His people protect him. It is truly a clan. It's really terrifying. Pat, this is why Bill Gates is trying to mandate the vaccine. Now, that is something I absolutely have not read except in conspiracy theorists. I've been reading tons about Bill Gates, tons. And I did not read that. If you have information on that that's definitive, I would love to see it because I can't find anything. But
I'm not closed to that idea. It's just I can't find anything, and I've been digging. And a lot of my people I know are in the computer engineer business, and so they are really up on him. They followed him. They've been to his seminars. They follow his work. So I can't find anything. Let me see. But I'm not trying to put you down. I'm just saying that's kind of where I'm at. And when I look for things and I can't find them, it's kind of crazy for me. Gary, Mitch and his senators paved the way for Trump. They will always support him over us. They're real sickos. They're real sickos. There's stacks and stacks of bills that'll never get looked at on his desk, and he's proud of that. God, I hope he gets ousted. These people, I don't get them. They're unconscionable. Let me see here. Yeah, Gary, great point. Dave, what a sick country. What a sick country we are. No other democracy has many anti-intellectual, heartless people. Trump could be a murder suspect and still wouldn't, and I still wouldn't be sure that Trump couldn't get reelected. Oh, he could. Well, in my opinion, my very opinionated white opinion, he is a murderer. He is a murderer. Absolutely. And it's not just the COVID people that no, not just them. How about the 7 kids that he allowed to die? He took children. Don't get me started. I'm going to cry. He took children away from their loving parents and let them die. And you know what? The rest of them aren't so great off either. He was starving kids. He allowed rapists to be in there. He allowed rapes, and he took all the records and got rid of them. I don't even want, a lot of my, one of my earlier live shows from a while back explains the whole. And some of them are still lost. They don't know where they put them. They stole somebody's kids from their arms and lost their children. I just can't even, every time I think about that, he is absolutely responsible. This is crazy, but yeah. Nails and glitter. Dave Farley takes a heartless. Yeah, I'm not going to read that because that's not. Okay. Not good. Ghost Killa. Our president is anti-science. Mr. F.S. Black. At this rate, who knows when this need for social distancing and sheltering in place will ever be over. Yeah, and it's not like we're going to find out from, it's not like we're going to find out from any reliable source who's in the national government, because they're full of it. They're just lying and lying. But yeah, widespread vaccines is definitely a possibility, but I'm not going to be the first to take a vaccine. Are you? Over my dead body, literally. I don't have faith in, what they did with some of the smallpox stuff, and they got lucky is what they got after they killed a few bazillion people. I mean, we aren't guinea pigs. My only hope is that other nations are really working on this too, but do not be the first to take a vaccine. I'm telling you right now. I do not trust what's going on right now with Trump. My God, he probably has stock in the vaccine company. I'm not an anti-vaxxer by any means, but you got to think for yourself. Hobby Lobby CEO claims not being able to own slaves violates his religious freedom, and this is how he thinks. Hobby Lobby's got some serious issues. They're evangelical, they're kind of known for being psycho. I've been reading about them for years. Their owners are out of control, really out of control. I've read tons and tons about their beliefs and trying to. They're religious fanatics, as far as I can tell, and I don't say that lightly. They're a lot like evangelicals who believe that slavery in the Bible is the way life should. It's just really crazy, but it's very, very inhumane. And this is what I always say: if your religion tells you to treat your fellow humans inhumanely, like they don't matter, then you're doing your religion wrong. Just what I think. Sorry. What religion tells you to be cruel and evil and heartless to your own fellow brothers and sisters? Because that's what we are. We're all related. So that's just too crazy. I can't, I mean, and it makes all the people who are actually really good people who are religious look bad. It's really sad. I actually did an interview on a guy, my friend, I used to have his book right around here. I threw it somewhere, but he wrote a book on white supremacy and trying to teach white people. He's from Mississippi, and he's a white dude, and great book, quick read. I should probably bring it back and show everyone. We got issues here. But yeah, Pat, I've read about them. Oh, forever. Freedom's under the first. Okay, Gary. Hobby Lobby is a chain, and I never go in. If that's what Christmases are like, then we be thankful for atheists. Yeah. No, it's scary. I try to avoid it. In fact, one of the videos I did that was I think I've told you all this so many times. I went and did a interview with the little mini Trump rally that they were having, and they were right outside Hobby Lobby. I was like, oh, how thematic. I was like, oh my God. Oh, that's so scary. And I think it was like not an accident. So let's keep doing some comments. Freedom under the First Amendment. The First Amendment comes before the 13th and 14th, and the Bible clearly approves of owning slaves, stated David Green on Fox News this morning. David Green has made similar arguments in the past, including the case that went to the Supreme Court in which Hobby Lobby declared that providing contraceptives and employee health care violates their religion. Not only does it infringe on my biblical right to own slaves, but it also violates our shareholders' right to those sweet, sweet, high dividends made possible by free labor. Oh my God, send it my way. Sean Hannity is expected to defend these statements tonight in a special edition of Slavery. Why do liberals hate capitalism so much? Oh my God. I hope you're watching that instead of me. I've never said that before. I'm not supposed to say that, but when is that on? And please give me the channel. I will so tape it if I can. This is where we're going, people. This is so freaking out of control. It's just out of control. I did a video on Trump's, it was a very boring video. Boring. It's so boring, but it's one of the most interesting things I thought. It wasn't because it was me. It was just the information. It was a breakdown of all the stuff that Trump sees during the day. I don't know if you remember what newspaper. It was either the Washington Post or the New York Times. They did a breakdown of everything he sees on his little phone. And most of his stuff is from propaganda, like from Russians, from the Chinese, I'm talking his entire information base is Fox News and propaganda. QAnon, those people that are like extremists, he reposted their stuff all the time. The article that I had, that I did the video from was amazing because they had real data on what he sees. He is indoctrinating himself on a daily basis. It's probably the most terrifying part about him I've ever read. Just the information he's getting and how many retweets he's done to totally illegitimate places in Russia, this is crazy. I should pull that video back up. It didn't do very well, but it's kind of boring, but it was, to me, I was like, oh, now I'm getting it all. That's unbelievable. I believe it, Pat, but that's so psycho. Who said liberals don't like capitalism? No, I've never heard that in my life. Liberals who live in America are living under a society whose economic system is supposed to be capitalism, not their freaking lifestyle. It's not supposed to be a way of life. It's not supposed to be like a Machiavellian thing going on with forget about humans, money's everything. That's how we've turned it. We've turned it into a lifestyle. It was never meant to be a lifestyle. We've lost our humanity if we ever even had it. And capitalism is now the excuse for being evil to our fellow humans. That's what the checks and balances are for God's sakes. But we don't really have them anymore in a lot of places, and that's why we're going down. The fall of Rome. That's okay. The fringe is my biblical. Okay, let me find my spot. Hate capitalism. It's like saying, it's like what people say to me, oh, you just hate white people. It's like, oh, be quiet. It's ridiculous. It's like, when you get mature, come back to me. Yeah, that's it. It's because I am a white person. Why would it's like, liberals don't hate capitalism. We, like most people, I don't consider myself a liberal. I'm a humanist, but I think that's okay too. We actually believe that humans should act like freaking humans. And I don't speak for anybody but me, but at least I do. I mean, it's a gift. We got this cool thing, better than other animals. We can think. We can be afraid, and we can still think and not take part in our fear. We can think and say, you know what? I really, really am scared and I want to hurt somebody, but I'm not going to, because that's not right. That's illogical. That doesn't make sense. It's this really cool thing called critical thinking skills. Yet we're not using them. At least some of us aren't. It's a gift to be human. Use your humanity. We're only on this earth for such a short period of time. Why be rotten to our fellow humans for the chance at an extra buck? And with Trump, good luck. We're not going to be making extra buck. Only he does. People are bamboozled. Okay, I'm on a rampage here. One will be one. It's not that liberals hate capitalism. It's that liberals hate crony capitalism. Thank you. Much better worded than we have pure crony capitalism in America. It's crazy. You're much more concise than I could have read that. One will be which we have corporations as oligarchs and destroy the government by buying them off and doing their bidding and destroying the U.S. citizens in the process. Absolutely. I mean, Citizens United, oh, please. Corporations aren't human. They don't have a soul. They don't give a crap about anything but money. It's a great way to hide behind your corporation. Guys, we're going down. And it is absolutely capitalism gone nuts. Just gone nuts. Thank you, Womobile. Yay. Oligarchies. Oh my God. It's insane. Businesses don't have a conscience. They're there for one reason and one reason only, and that is to make money. Very scary, very scary. Let me just see who I'm skipping. I apologize if I'm skipping anyone. Capitalism, if we're the capital. Explain that. I kind of, if we're the capital. Okay, maybe explain. I mean, Ghost Kelly. I mean, he does listen to Rush. Oh, yeah, I know. That's just, you guys, I am not a religious person. I am not holier than thou. I am a normal human who has flaws, makes mistakes, tries their best. Okay. I don't think we're asking for out of control things like, just asking too much. It is not asking too much to give a shit about your fellow human. It's just not. And people who think it is have lost their freaking minds. And that's kind of what we're doing here. I mean, that's kind of what we've been doing. It's exhausting. I can't keep up with the news. It's just exhausting. I'll just make a confession. Today, I actually literally, a word that is so often, I cried today. Not in front of anybody, just in front of me, but I was there. I cried because I can't, not because I'm like, I just love America so much. Yeah, I like our country, okay? I cried because of all the horrible, horrible things that are happening. I cried because this country, despite our horrific, beginnings and cruelties, it only takes 1 minute to say never again and to start all over. We had potential in this country. This country has potential. And that's why I was crying, because the loss of, and we could be at the forefront of humanity. We could be leading the way in what it means to be human. But no, it's just not going to be happening. We're the opposite right now. We're not just the laughing stock of the world. We're one of the most inhumane places around. And you know why? Because we're under the guise that the people actually want this. I mean, some countries are ruled by a dictator. So we think, well, it's not really the people's fault because, they have no say. We supposedly have a say. Yet here we are with so many things that most people agree on that we don't have. Most people are for universal health care. Most people do not want a healthcare system that's for profit. Most people don't want profit for prisons. Most people don't want mass incarceration. Most people want common sense gun laws. Yet here we are because we are corrupt and we allow corporations to give money to buy off people. There is no morals. Anyway, I'm blabbing. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I keep reading trickle-down capitalism and vulture capitalism. That's what I despise, according to Dave. And I think I skipped some people. I did standing on truth. I love you. You are right on point. Yay. Thank you so much. I want to talk to you. Thank you. And you had me at I love you. Thank you. That's very sweet. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You know what? I'm just the average whoever who just happens to give a shit about their fellow humans. I'm not a good speaker. I'm not a good writer. Ask anybody. I'm actually really, really shy in person. But something about injustice brings out the evil. I don't know. It makes me just go crazy. And I'm just the average person who really, really cares. And I can't believe how inhumane our nation is. If I had to sum it up, that's all I'd say. We are inhumane. Yeah, it's really sad. And that's part of the reason I was crying today. I just thought, my God, this is crazy. We could be at the forefront of goodness. Yet we're at the forefront of inhumanity. This is so sad. Just really makes me sad. Thank you for that nice compliment. Now I've lost my spot. You got me all like, ah. Okay. Womobile. I totally agree with you. It's just business the American way. Interesting. Yeah. And, a lot of people I know Nelson Glitter and I have talked a ton about Trump. And I can't quote her now because it has been a while since we discussed this, but a while back we were talking about the fact that some people actually aren't so bummed about Trump because you know what? It closes the cognitive dissonance gap that we have about who we think we are and who we really are. Because now we have a president that reflects exactly who we are. And the reason I say that is not to put down everybody, but if we didn't like it, we'd make it stop. Yet here we are. If we didn't want systemic racism, we'd make it stop. We have classes in every single school from preschool to high school teaching daily anti-racism and teaching the implicit bias and just teaching all this stuff, teaching our real history. We don't want to. So we can talk a ton about how great this and great that, but I look at actions and our actions are horrid. And the thing that makes me the most sad is that we could have, okay, I'm done blabbing. I'm repeating myself. Let me see. Global entertainment TV, yay! I'm sorry, it took so long to get to. Oh, is it the economy or capitalism? Capitalism gone nuts. Just my take, but Dave, I think Donald Trump pretty much recreated himself as a clone of Rush Limbaugh. That's scary. That's real. I don't really know much about Rush Limbaugh, but I've heard him talk once, and I was like, is he? I was blown away. I just was like, is he being funny? Is he? No. It's I can't, I live in my own little bubble. I just can't even it's surreal how people can be that mean. I hit the bottom. Yay. Okay. I hit the bottom. I think I did. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Okay. Did I skip anybody? Okay. I have. Good night, Les. Thank you for being here. I know it's your bedtime. It's kind of mine too. I just have a little bit more of a rant. Okay, I have a lot. Thanks for being here, Leslie. It really makes me happy. You're such a great support. Okay. My next topic, if anyone doesn't have any other topic to bring up, is prisons and responsibility. And it's going to be a fast one. I'm going to race through it. Many of us, swaked. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I know I'm just butchering your name, but I'm happy you're here. Welcome to the show. Jump in and tell us what you think. Prisons and responsibility. Have you guys been following all this prison stuff? Many of us know the saying, Spider-Man, with great power comes greater responsibility, or something like that. I've always believed that to be true. The more power you have, the more you are responsible for the most vulnerable members of society. And when I say most vulnerable, I don't say in a bad way. Most vulnerable, people we've allowed to be most vulnerable. People who are homeless, people who don't have enough food, people who are impacted greatly by systemic racism, by bigotry, by religious, everything. The LGBTQ community, everybody. We are, as people in power, more responsible, and we have dropped the ball. I mean, there is no ball. It's gone. Okay? We have not lived up to this, and it is really heartbreaking. I believe this is to be true, and it's crushing, just crushing. Rule 303. Tell me about Rule 303. I don't know what that is. It's crushing. Is it from the movies? Because I don't watch movies. I'm like really bad. I don't follow pop culture very much. But I did see Spider-Man, like once maybe, and maybe I read a book or something. I believe it to be true, and that it's crushing to know our national government's philosophy is the complete opposite of this. Take zero responsibility and allow people to suffer in a nation that boasts liberty and justice for all. What a joke. If you have the means, you have the responsibility. You know what? I truly believe that. I don't think I'm great for believing that. I think I'm human for believing that. I don't think, oh God, I'm so great. No, I don't get credit for acting like a freaking human. I'm baffled. Thank you for clarifying that. I'm like, what is that? Goskilla. I've seen a lot of Black people defending those 2 murderers down in Georgia. Damn, really? Black people? Ooh, that's our next topic coming up right after this. Wow. I don't know if you've been on my page, but I am exclusively covering that case because I'm personally just, I don't know, I'll get into it. I just can't. I got a lot of information tonight on the homeowner of the construction site, and he had a lot to say. And I was, you know what? He might have just ever so slightly renewed my faith in humanity from what he said. And I will talk about that tonight. And I think you're going to want to hear it if you're like me and just are feeling like, wow. But, some people on YouTube. Yeah. I saw one person, but they were white. I was like, ho. Don't even, that's a whole can of worms. So I can name scores of things that our government has done and we're still doing to our people. And the nation had so much potential. And it's precisely this potential that makes me, like I said before, just really sad. Today we keep people in barbaric prisons. No rehabilitation for adults. No, it's a punishment. It's not for rehabilitation. It's for punishment. Well, as a social scientist, a behavioralist, if you will, who has a master's degree in behavioral management in special education, I can tell you one thing, and this is not some great piece of knowledge. Punishment is a very funny thing because after a while, punishment means nothing. Okay? It means nothing. And you want me to prove that right now? I don't know what you all think of the death penalty or murdering people through state-sanctioned murder is what I call it. Okay. The number one, states that have the highest amount of people that they kill are in the South. Okay. And the South has the highest murder rate. So there we are. Asked and answered. It's ridiculous. There's no studies that show that that is anything but revenge. And it's a long story, but I mean, this is something I feel like I know a little bit about because I really did study it. So anyway, the whole prison thing is disgusting. It's for money. It's for profit. We keep people in prolonged punishment with no rehabilitation. And then we do the craziest thing. We let them go into the public. Do you want your mass murderer to come into the public with some serious coping skills? Or having been tortured and traumatized by 20 years in prison? I don't think it's a big contest here. Okay. I vote for the rehab. 98% are going to get out someday, and they're going to be on the streets with our children. Let's help them. They're troubled. We help people. That's the thing. We're inhumane. We don't help people. We punish them. That's just crazy. But anyway, that's just, you know where I stand. So we keep people punished who have mental illness, severe mental illness. Mental illness is a real medical condition. If you don't think so, take it up with the psychiatrists who spent and devoted their life to the study of medicine, psychiatric medicine. Thinking it isn't real, that's arrogant. Okay? We don't know a lot about it. It's in its infancy, but it's real. Okay? It's a science that has not been completed. It's we're in the process of it. But we keep people in prison. A mentally ill person in prison. Does that seem like a nice atmosphere for somebody who's mentally ill? Seriously? We charge exorbitant rates, and we keep them in for-profit prisons. We profit off of their sorrow. We make them pay exorbitant amounts for phone calls. We have police officers at most of our schools. Are they stopping people who are shooting up the schools? No, they are not. No. But what they are doing is overwhelmingly punishing Black, brown, and Indigenous children. Children whose brains and developmental stages are still, going, and who act like children. They act like children because they are children. Now children are being punished and put in the school to prison pipeline. That's what these police officers are doing now. They're not stopping people from shooting up places. Sorry. They are monitoring normal child developmental behavior and criminalizing it. And it's not for the white people that they're doing it. We had a great scheme going. They can fill the prisons, and all of our politicians and wealthy elites can have stock in them. And they do. It's disgusting. It's greed. And we have enough money to serve everybody who needs services in this nation. We could house every single person. We don't want to. We have enough money to feed every single person who's hungry in this nation. We don't want to. We have enough money to give quality medical care to every single person in this nation. We don't want to. What is the sense of living in a nation with all its wealth when we refuse to take care of people? Why be wealthy? I don't get it. Why do we do it? Today, we're allowing a president to rule our nation who is an absolute, I was going to swear, but I'm not going to. He's a freaking imbecile. He is a horrible human. He needs help. Not to be president, not to be reelected. He needs help. He needs people to take him to get mental help. I don't think he has a humane thought in his body. And if you think he does, you've probably just misunderstood him. He is pure evil, not religious evil. He is not a nice human being. He allows horrific things to happen and doesn't care. I think he's a monster. He's motivated by self-importance, money, and power, and nothing else. Our nation is not the first at anything other than being obnoxiously rich and pathetically inhumane. So tonight I wanted to read you a very short little script about having power and taking responsibility for our fellow humans. I don't know if you can hear my cat. It's meowstering me. I might have to call for backup. Probably wants to come in and say hello. This is something, oh geez, this is something Trump will never comprehend. Okay, excuse me for 1 minute. Come in. Come in, come in, come in. Okay. Sorry about that. The cat has entered the room. Trump will never comprehend any of this. Not cat stuff. I don't know what he knows about cats. We have doomed some of the most vulnerable people to death and sickness and possible long-term disorders because we don't know what this virus does. And they're rotting in prison. And we're letting them without mental health care, away from their loved ones, and we make money off of it. But not we, people who have stake in these companies, which most Americans really don't. So it's not everybody who's making money off of these people's misfortune. It's the wealthiest elites that are. And I find that to be unconscionable. For-profit prisons. If that doesn't say it all, then for-profit healthcare does. Sorry. This is disgusting. The inhumanity is just unbelievable. I was reading a little chart, which I will not bore you with. I wish you could see this chart. How many people are locked up in the United States? And I got updated to this week, this month at least. We have a staggering, out of every 100,000 people, how many people do you think we have imprisoned? Name the numbers. I want to see numbers. Out of 100,000 residents, the U.S. has locked up, let me see. What do you think? 200? 300? I want numbers. Don't be afraid. I won't hold it against you. I just read this and I was like, damn. I mean, I know it was crazy, but, and you know what? Another facet of that is we have people, let me just read this chart here. People who are not convicted. They could be innocent. In fact, I have a feeling many of them are not convicted because of the way we do things. We make money off of people like you and I who have done nothing wrong. That is fucked up. Okay, that deserves a swear word. Sorry, YouTube, but it's sick. 40,000 out of 100,000. So close. No, actually, that's a little very. Thank you for going on a limb there. Thank you. Yeah, I wouldn't. This is still a really big number. 40,000 of 100,000. That kind of feels that way, doesn't it? 698. So 700 people out of every 100,000. 700 people out of 100,000. That's insane. That's insane. We are sick. And I say we because we allow this. An end to mass incarceration. We must find and consider why 2.3 million people are confined. 2.3 million people. You guys, this is really screwed up. And the reason I wanted to read you this is today we have the most vulnerable people in prison. Yes, they are vulnerable people, even the murderers, even the rapists. Yes, they are vulnerable because they are under our care. And I don't care what they did. We are not supposed to follow their ways. We are supposed to remain humane and don't treat them by what they did. Treat them as a human who is sick. Okay. And I mean that. And we don't do that at all. We are truly horrible. We put these people in prisons and people who haven't even done anything close to that at all. I mean, we put them away, and do you think it improves their life? Do you think it helps them do better? I'm going to say no. I don't know. Call me crazy, but you can call me crazy for other reasons, but I'm going to say no. It doesn't help them. It's not for rehabilitation. It's for punishment. We put them in immigration centers, which are glorified jails, prisons, jails, people who haven't even had a trial yet because they're poor. What a system we have. So 70 Yeah. Yeah. They said about the stats I got were out of every 100,000. So it depends how you're counting, but we have 330 million people. That's not good. This is a sick thing we're doing. Cruel, unconscionable. Releasing the most vulnerable people to COVID-19 from our prisons, jails, and immigration detention centers is critical to stopping the spread of this deadly virus in facilities and our broader communities. Because see, when these people are getting sick, remember, we are letting people out slowly but surely, and we are going to have populations that are the entire prison's infected, and it's already starting. It is a death sentence for many people. You go in because you did some sort of crime that's, not good, but not, okay, so what, whatever. It's not like a murder or something. And you get the death sentence. That is sick. And that is exactly, everyone's on an equal playing field. Everybody gets the death sentence, And not everyone will die. Some people will make it through. Some people have disabilities afterwards. Some people will have a lot of health problems the rest of their life and never be normal. I've been reading a lot of stuff. This COVID thing it attacks all your organs and it goes everywhere. Some people do fine with it, but some people don't. And people who are in prisons who are getting substandard everything, substandard healthcare, for-profit prisons, no rehabilitation. I'm sure it's a real healthy environment in there. They are the most vulnerable and they're packed together and it's inhumane. Yet our Federal Bureau of Prisons and the Department of Justice are not using their authority to safely and swiftly reduce the mass incarceration or the incarcerated population right now. They are issuing confusing, conflicting guidelines, who's eligible, making promises. There's no time for this level of incompetence. There's just no time. It should have been done months ago. Dealing with for-profit mass incarceration. So the next, there's I'm not sure which one it was because I didn't get the printout, but there is a place that, they want you to sign and put your name and say that that you believe that prisons should be, people should be let go who are nonviolent offenders. And because you know what, they're all getting the death sentence. If they're lucky, they'll make it through. But yeah, you think they're going to be sending doctors their way, taking good care of them? Pfft, not a chance in hell. So can you think of a better place other than prisons to grow a cesspool of COVID-19 virus and make sure the most people die? I'm going to say prisons. Prisons are the place. We have set these people up for horror. Now let me take some comments. It's kind of a negative one tonight. Next, we're going to talk about Ahmaud Arbery. There's a bunch of new information. Let me see. Okay, standing on truth. There's a few white people who said that they are tired of white people and their behavior towards Black people. They said that they feel embarrassed. Yeah, I am. That's a very nice way to put it. I'm mortified and horrified and disgusted and am embarrassed, but it's like I'm embarrassed to be of the human race. Embarrassed is and I'm not putting you down at all. Embarrassed is the least of my problems. I am appalled. And I mean that from the heart. I don't get it. I am resigned to the fact that I will never get it. I wouldn't harm a freaking ant. Okay. And my family does have some issues with that, but it's like, I take bugs outside. Okay. Life matters. I don't know how I got this way, but I think it's part of being human. I don't think I get credit. Oh, I'm so humane. No, it's just being human. And yes, I take spiders out to their families too, but ticks. Okay. That's a whole nother story. I don't want to go there. I need counseling over that, but you guys, I treat bugs better than we treat our humans. That's really messed up. white people, it is way past time for us to take racial responsibility. It doesn't take that much. You educate yourself. You become close friends with somebody who doesn't look like you. You learn about their plight, their reality, and you listen and you learn and you listen and you learn and you care, and you'll get it. And it's a lifetime commitment. It's not a hobby. It's a lifestyle. You'll never get it all the way if you're white. How could we? We don't live it. It doesn't mean we don't try. It's crazy. It doesn't mean we just say, oh, that's just the way it is. We were born into this. No. So, I'm on a rampage again. So there are a few people, and there needs to be a few gazillion more. It's the people who are nice to everybody and think they're doing their part, who are white, that are the ones that need to step up to the plate. Not to be heroes, not to be on social media, but because it's the right thing to do. It's called being human. And I will not apologize for that, because I think we're capable of it. And people say, oh, you just hate white people. And you know what? That's a really good cop-out. I don't hate white people. I believe in white people. I believe we have to be better than this. Now, not in 10 years, not in 20 years, now. And so that's why I blab. And you know what? If I get one person to give a shit, then I guess I'm better off than I was. I wish I was better at this, but I'm just doing the best I can. It's very frustrating. They don't want to listen. They just don't get it. We can't see, or hear you guys clearly, but we get the gist. Oh, you can't hear me very well? Me? Uh-oh, that's not good. If you mean, tell me more. I think people can hear, but I guess if you guys can, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm sorry about that. Global Entertainment TV, I count on you to be able to hear me. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Is that kind of what you mean? I'm not sure what's going on, because you got everything. Got the little microphone, my crazy little microphone. Everything should be like up and on. I'll have to talk to engineering about that. Yeah, you're right, engineering. Let me see. Sorry about that. Nails of Glitter. He has no empathy. He should decide things for others with no empathy. He shouldn't. Sorry, I'm like, what? He shouldn't decide things with. Right. He's incapable of being humane and having a heart. Standing on truth from slavery to prison. Yeah, and people don't even know about the 13th Amendment, that it did not cancel out all slavery. They don't even know. There's just so much we don't know. The white folks don't know. And, I can't guarantee if they knew it, but I mean, how could they not care after don't get me started. Mr. Russell, the people in power who are supposed to be taking action during this pandemic won't care until this virus starts affecting them personally. If that's not the truth, then I don't know what is. Exactly. And that's because they cannot learn vicariously. They have a very, very limited ability to empathize if they haven't lived it themselves, or maybe are going through it. That is strange. That is very strange to me. It is extremely scary. It all goes back to when you elect somebody, you don't know the thousands of decisions they're going to be making every single day without your knowledge. So it's lovely to pick someone on an issue here and there, but that's like 0.00001% of anything they're going to have to do. You pick a humane person. That I am saying this makes me very scared. It is not a tough thing. You pick a humane person. That is like the baseline for voting for somebody, because they're going to make decisions that you don't know about. Sure, if you're absolutely opposed to any abortion at all, and you pick someone who's inhumane, what the heck? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Plus, Trump's not against abortion anyway. You should see him in his Howard Stern interview he did years back. He was begging his girlfriend at the time to kill her kid. And, just, don't even make me go there. He's so full of it anyway. So I think Trump got into power because he had everyone at racism. And after that, nothing else mattered. Nothing. He had him the minute they found out that he was a racist piece of you-know-what. De facto leader of the modern Ku Klux Klan. They had their man, and nothing else mattered. I can't think of why a human being would go there unless that was it. Okay, I can keep going on these. Skip somebody, sorry. Yeah, tell Trump that the shithole countries are doing better than us. He wouldn't believe it. The man is a liar. The man is a liar. Nails and glitter. Some people will get sick in the second round. When the flu is back, those mortality rates will match the original projections. Absolutely. And if you see what George is doing now, is they're backdating all their stuff. So their last 2 weeks are always going to look like they're on the down slide. They're backdating everything. You can't look at the last 2 weeks in Georgia because they are purposefully making it look like they're perfectly going down, and they're not. They're backdating. They have a new method to make them look good on paper. I mean, this is just crazy. Nails and glitter, totally. Mr. F.S. Black. I won't say every prisoner is innocent. Some are. I can't even say they don't deserve punishment, but many are there because of their race, their lack of education, or because they're poor. Absolutely. Yeah, and of course, some people do bad things. But as a humanist, a lot of people will not like me for this, but I truly believe it is up to us to be the bigger people and to set an example of how you treat our fellow humans. Yes, they did bad things and they have their freedom taken away. That's a pretty big thing. To have your freedom taken away, that's really a big thing. Okay? We don't need to be cruel and horrific, and we still put people in isolation, and it's been studied for decades, probably centuries. It causes severe mental illness. Yet we still do that. We isolate people for days and days and weeks and months. That's, I don't even want to think about it. That's torture. That's torture. And we've known about that forever. There comes a point where the punishment means nothing. It's just to be rotten. And these people are the people who really have done horrible things. They are the lowest, most pathetic people. Why would we do rotten things to them back? They've lost their freedom. They've lost any type of humanity whatsoever. They can't be with other people. But what does that make us if we do evil, rotten things to them? And that's what we do. It's unbelievable. And I know not everyone will agree. And people will say, oh, what if somebody did something to somebody you love? Well, you know what? Yes, I would be absolutely enraged. I have no idea how I would change my views. But I can tell you right now, in an extreme emotional state is probably not the best, most logical way to think about the kind of country, the kind of morals, the kind of person we want to be. So I don't use that as an example, as an extreme, horrible case. And I pray that people are not making those kind of decisions on a large basis in such emotional anguish. Who knows? You probably want to go get the person and kill them. I don't know. And I hope I never find out. But that's why we don't make laws based on that kind of thing. Hopefully. Okay. But Mr. F.S. Black, I get your point. Absolutely. Gary, you're coming in clear for me. Okay, good. That makes me feel better. At least one person. I am so sorry if I'm not coming in clear for those guys. I don't know why. Mr. F.S. Black, maybe instead of harsher punishment in the prison system, we need better justice. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, a lot of stuff is circumstantial. When I was talking to my friend who was in the Aryan Brotherhood, who was a leader in the Mississippi Aryan Brotherhood, I did interviews with him, and he is such a nice person. Yes, I will say it again. My friend who was one of the leaders in the Aryan Brotherhood of Mississippi, and is an amazing person. Okay. Watch the video if you don't know what I'm talking about. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. He was raised in a kind of situation where he didn't stand a chance. Not one chance. And he doesn't hate black people at all. He has absolutely he didn't join because of that. He joined for absolutely different reasons. He doesn't hate black people at all. I've talked to him. I talked to him for 5 hours straight. He's spilled his guts. He told me everything. He's an amazing man. He tried to get out. They had a hit on him. He was shot point blank in the head, and he lived. He's an incredible story. He works now for an organization that Life After Hate. If you ever want to see a man, an amazing human being that has pulled himself, he's blind now. The bullet went in his head and but yeah, Mr. F.S. Black, we have to do better. And we have so much we could do better. I wanted to talk a little bit about the case for Ahmaud Arbery, and I want to go kind of fast because it's getting late and everyone's been so great to stay here. There's a bunch of information that I want you to know, and you might know it already. I've been trying to keep up. Like any racist cover-up, Ahmaud Arbery's murder case, once brought to the public's attention, seems to have produced like every single day. There's more evidence. Things are changing. It's a very fluid case. It's not good. There are so many whys about how this case was handled. Why would they do this? That I know why they do it, but it's all kind of coming together slowly but surely, because now the public is on top of it, and they'll never be able to bring that young man back to his family. But people know, and they were going to get away with it. Oh, yes, they were. There are so many whys about how this case was handled, and it's not hard to believe that this was a good old classic old boys cover-up that took the life of a young black man. First, let's be real about this, okay? Don't hate me for it. When we say Georgia, what does that bring to mind? It kind of says it all in a way for me. Okay, now my cat's meowstering. Oh, come over and get on camera. Come on. I hope you guys don't mind. This cat really wants to say hi. Come here. Oh, it just lied down. Okay, forget it. You can't. Okay. This is Bootsy. This is Bootsy. Look up. Uh-oh. Put him down. Okay, I just want to show you. Sorry. That's baby Bootsy, who's the voice you will hear. Okay, sorry. It was worth it. He got on camera. Okay. Georgia. South. I know it doesn't sound fair, but you know what? It's got a reputation as Jim Crow 2.0. Okay? Let's be real. And I'll tell you, this case is sure not helping that reputation. Right now, I'm going to briefly go over what happened very quickly. I know most people that are watching now already are very much aware of what's going on. There's some information from the homeowner. The place that Ahmaud had stopped to check out the construction, took a peek at the construction. At least that's what it sounds like so far. And obviously I'm not in on the case, but a lot every day's coming up. So you're going to want to hear this. Many of the facts in the case point to one thing and one thing only, that the McMichaels men were out to murder a black person. And I mean, I'm sorry, and I don't judge by looks, but oh my God, do they look like, sorry. Just saying, okay? And the guns don't help. I mean, they look like classic, like, people who would lynch people. I mean, and they, it looks like they kind of are, this young man, this young man's my daughter's age, my daughter's age. So, I mean, I don't even, there's no words. On February 23rd, 2020, Ahmaud Arbery was shot dead by these people. The family says he was out jogging. Oh, he said hi to Boots. Boots is like, meow, don't look at me. Don't talk to me. Yeah, oh my gosh. I didn't even like cats, but
kind of grew on me. That's so funny. He was out jogging, according to his family, which it looks like he was out jogging. There was a video that came out. They had a video before. They didn't tell him when they had a video. I mean, this just reeks of cover up. McMichael said that they thought he was a burglar, according to the Glenn County Police report. Well, you know what? They can think whatever the hell they want. They don't have the right to, I think you look like a, what? I mean, give me a break. This is just so crazy. There's so many crazy parts to this. I don't even know where to start, but I'll try to follow the, little outline I have here. Michaels told the police that when they caught up to Arbery, he attacked the son, who fired his weapon in defense. Well, that is not what it looked like. It looked like, and by the way, the burglaries that were referenced, I read they weren't home invasions. It was one burglary of somebody's car, something out of their car. So, wow, talk about twisting the truth. Obviously, I don't know all the facts, but the Georgia Attorney General on Monday named Gillette Holmes as the new prosecutor to oversee his case for the 25-year-old Black man who was killed. It's drawn tons of national attention and inspired protesting. And these white dudes are in jail. Don't know if they keep saying they don't have an attorney. Like, I think they need an attorney. If you read the original police report detailing the shooting, it was grossly inaccurate. I read it today. Or actually, let's just be real. It was full of total and complete bullshit. It was lies. It was just lies. So let's talk about Georgia law. Yes, there's a private citizen can make a citizen's arrest. However, if you're a private citizen and you're making a citizen's arrest, you have to have witnessed the crime or have immediate knowledge of that crime. And, those are technical words, I guess. Not that you think maybe you might have seen that person and they kind of maybe look like somebody you saw and maybe like a burglary. No. That's not okay. The report stated that according to the McMichael people, the man they saw don't laugh, this is not funny, had put his hand down his pants, which meant he was carrying a gun. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean, but that's what he said. So they decided he was the guy they saw who was a burglar when there were no burglaries of houses. And that since he put his hand in his pants, maybe it was his pocket, I don't know. Now he's carrying a weapon? Oh, please. So they decided to make a citizen's arrest. You have to be able to do it safely. There are rules. It's not the freaking wild, wild west, although you think otherwise. You cannot use force in detaining someone. There we are. Georgia rules. There's no defense under Georgia statute, according to many lawyers, for this. Stand your ground is also in place in Georgia. You do not get to be the one who starts the altercation repeatedly, the way they did, cornering him and following him and basically stalking him, and still rely on stand your ground, according to attorneys. They pursued Ahmaud with 2 shotguns, trying to cut him off and trap him, with the other videoer behind him shooting the video, basically trying to block him in. It sounds like. I guess we'll find out. On the 911 call, you can hear the caller being asked, what did he do? What did the man do? And they didn't have a good answer. They did not have a good answer. Additionally, Barnhill, who was the first district attorney who wrote the original letter recusing himself, said something outlandish in his letter. He wrote a letter. He recused himself, yet took it upon himself to write a letter. The letter said that there was a video of Arbery burglarizing a home immediately preceding the chase and confrontation. It says, I saw the letter. I saw it. It's online. You can find it. It says he burglarized a home. That's the report. What a lie. There's a video of him entering the construction site and walking back out, not taking anything. The construction site, by many attorneys, is an attractive nuisance.
I've gone on a construction site before. Have you? I mean, it was a long time ago, but I think I wanted to see. My parents have. Now, that was like 40 something years ago, but my parents have done it. We'd always check out the construction sites. It's fun when we go for a walk. It's not a completely abnormal thing to do. In fact, as it turns out, well, Barnhill characterized this all, which was his characterization of it, it was a total lie. But this really speaks to how these police handled the case. You're going to want to know this because the police department is a very bad police department. They handled the case as if it was a done deal, almost as if his life didn't matter. Also, why in the world would the prosecutor who has recused himself give any statement whatsoever? I mean, this stinks of deep cover-up of these police, and I hope that they follow through with this and go down. Recusals are for people who are inherently biased and cannot be objective because they know the people. The letter it just destroyed any objectivity. It was a lie. They lied again, stating that the huge delay was due to the stay-at-home order. No, the huge delay in justice was due because they didn't give a shit and they weren't going to investigate. There was no lockdown in Georgia for COVID at the time. No. So that's another lie. There is more factual information. Wanda Cooper, the mother of the victim, received a call from the police investigator. Guess what they told her? She recounted that she recounted later that the investigator told her that her son had been involved in a burglary and was killed by the homeowner. That's categorically false. The homeowner lived 2 hours away. It has nothing to do with the homeowner. These two men, the homeowner had met these two men, the father, one time, very short interaction, brief interaction, didn't exchange, and just when he was on his property, one time, a long time ago, and the homeowner had nothing to do with any of this. Lee Merritt, this is pretty messed up. People are lying. They're not even trying to tell the truth. Lee Merritt, the lawyer representing Mr. Arbery's family, says that this is a small town, and he's quoted, and in these counties, the law enforcement community there are very well known to each other, and they recycle officers in and between themselves, and it's a very tight-knit community. Yeah, we know what that means. Over the years, Glenn County police officers have been accused of the following: covering up allegations of misconduct, tampering with crime scenes, interfering with investigation of police shootings, retaliating against officers who were cooperating with outside investigators. That does not sound very good. That sounds like, could this be a classic? Like, wow. It was reported also that the police chief of Glenn County had been indicted just a few days after the young man was murdered on something totally separate, over an alleged cover-up about another officer's sexual relationship with an informant. So, these people do not have a good, it went on and on. There's more. In fact, the Glenn County Force was the sort of department where disciplinary records would just disappear. They'd go missing, where evidence room standards were not maintained. And this is according to the Washington Post. And to the point where they were stripped of their accreditation. And I don't know what that means, but it does not sound good. The Washington Post goes on to say that Glenn County, like many southern communities, has a history studded in racial violence, including 3 late 19th century lynchings, the real kind from the olden days. Okay. This county sounds like it has major issues. None of this is good. This is horrific. So what about the man who owns the home that was under construction? He's been building this house for a while. He doesn't live there. He lives a couple hours away. He had some words to say. According to Elizabeth Grady, that's his attorney, she was speaking for him, and he actually went on camera too. His attorney for the man who owns the construction site. He's been getting death threats. I'll say it again. The man who owns the construction site where he was building a home, which he probably will never move into now because of, somebody was killed, is getting death threats. She said that English, which is his last name, and his wife are heartbroken and heartsick for Arbery's parents. They have a child. They have children of their own. They are absolutely can't believe this. I saw the interview. It was like, God, talk about. The homeowner had no knowledge of anything that was going on. English simply got an alert on his phone that somebody was at the construction site. It wasn't his first or second or third or fourth. It happened, sounds like, a handful of times. So he got the information and he checked it like in half an hour later, kept working. He wasn't like freaking out. He got cleaned up, called the neighbor to find out what's going on. And they told him someone was shot. And he's like, oh my God, And in the months before February, a motion activated camera had captured videos of someone inside the construction site a handful of times. Different people, same people, they don't know. The first time it happened, the family simply called a non-emergency number and said that somebody's entered our construction site. So I don't know what happened after that, but he never used the word burglary. He didn't call for this. It's crazy. He has nothing to do with this. He added that nothing has ever been stolen by anybody on his construction site, including when the young man that was killed was there. Nothing's been stolen. He's never reported anything stolen. Nothing's ever been damaged. English would visit the construction site regularly to check on the progress of the house. And Grady said that once every about 2 weeks ago, which from the article date, so it's probably more like 3 weeks ago, Gregory McMichael approached English at the site and inquired about obtaining surveillance videos. And English said he didn't entertain Gregory McMichael's. He just was like, I don't know. He didn't give him anything. He didn't exchange numbers. I guess he wanted the surveillance video. Very interesting. His attorney says my clients were not part of what McMichaels told. My clients were not part of what McMichaels told themselves to do, referring to Ahmaud that they killed. If the McMichaels are going to justify what they did, they're going to have to look somewhere else for help. And he also went on to say in the video I just posted on my YouTube, you got to see this, that none of the people who were at the construction site were Ahmaud, other than that one time. That is according to the man who owned the construction site, and that they never, ever would ever in a million years want somebody to chase him down and to get justice for him doing nothing. And he was absolutely against what they did. He wants nothing to do with it. And he wants to make that crystal clear. Watch the video. You'll see him. It's crazy. So I have kept you all up late enough. I'm going to put a whole bunch of information. Maybe, I don't know if this, actually, I don't think this is going to fit, but a bunch of articles. Oh, it does. A bunch of cool articles. I've got a lot of my stuff from the Washington Post. And boop. And in the videos, I'm going to put some of that stuff. And I'm going to keep following this. You don't deserve to die for jogging down your street. You don't deserve to die for going in a construction site. It's probably a little naughty, but I've done it. So I'm naughty. Do I deserve to die? No. So I want to thank you very much for being here. Everybody, if they're still here, it's like, oh my God, she never shuts up. That's me. If you are not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to support. I am trying to educate white America, as many white folks as who will listen, about systemic racism and for us to take responsibility. Okay? Because White folks did this. We're not the heroes. Way too late for that. That ship has sailed long ago, centuries ago. We don't do it as a hobby. It's a lifestyle. And it's a long, steep learning curve that we'll never, ever get to. But if you're white and you want to know the truth about the country you live in, befriend me. I will write to you. I will help you learn. I will do whatever it takes. Watch my videos. If you don't understand it, if it upsets you, get to me. I will be there. I will walk you through it. I don't care if it takes a year, 2, 3, or 5. Once you learn the truth, it will truly set you free, because once you start learning the truth, you'll want to know more and more and more. So please support me by subscribing and watching my crazy videos and giving me suggestions. I will take suggestions of what you want me to do, depending on what it is, of course. And I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Absolutely wonderful to have everybody. And I'm so sorry about this poor, I say poor kid, because he's my kid's age. He's a kid to me. I'm old. He's this poor kid. They killed him for existing. And I don't want revenge on these men. There needs to be justice. Really sad. Thank you for being here. And please watch the videos. And if you have any people who might benefit from this, I know a lot of white folks are scared to come to this kind of thing. I survive talking about racism every week, and I live through it, and they will too. So please, if you can, encourage white folks to come here and listen. They don't have to jump in, but just listen, because, it's a lot. We've been lied to. It's a shock. But white folks, I believe in us. We can do this. We got to do this. We got to care. So my rant is over. Thank you so much for watching. And please don't be a stranger. If I don't get back to you when you write, I will eventually get back to you. I'm all over the place. And give me suggestions and invite people who need to hear some of this. And if they're really, really bad off, don't start them with a bad, crazy rant. Start them with the 101 series. Very nice, very sweet. Some people, and a lot of times people say, oh, you just have to. No, let me tell you, people will run away and they will never come back. You got to kind of work with them where they're at. And I know that's not a best practice, but it's a practical practice. If you want to get someone to get this, you can't. It's like you can't just. It's like telling somebody that you're an alien when they don't even know there's other planets. So they're like, what? It's like they'll just run. That's how absolutely ignorant a lot of white folks are. But subconsciously, we know, but we keep it way back. So it's a really psychological, crazy thing. And then some of us pretty much probably know and don't give a shit. But I don't work with them. They're way past my level of. Right. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And I met a couple of nice new people tonight, so that was awesome. Sweet dreams. Don't be a stranger. I'll see you next week, I hope.